There are a subset of tank destroyers in War Thunder that can be more accurately described as self-propelled artillery. Vehicles such as the Soviet 2S-3M, South African G6, Swedish Bakan 1C, or Japanese Type 75 SPH. These vehicles provide long or close-range fire support in the form of large-caliber, high-explosive shells. I was playing some games in the 2S3 the other day, and thought it would be a good idea to go over some other Soviet artillery pieces that could potentially be added, since I know they have a large enough selection to make a video. The first vehicle is the Tas One Vasdika, also known as Carnation. This is a light, compact vehicle created out of the same MTLB chassis as the BTR-ZD. The Tas One is equipped with a 122mm 2A18 howitzer, which can fire a variety of high-explosive shells, including rocket-assisted HE. At peak efficiency, it can fire 5 rounds per minute. The turret has a full 360 traverse, and can fire up to 70 degrees upwards, though only 3 degrees downwards. With a crew of 4 and only 20mm of armor, the vehicle can reach speeds of up to 60 km per hour on road, and 30 km per hour off-road. Like most light Soviet vehicles, it is amphibious and is equipped with infrared night vision. The Tas One entered service in 1970, and with over 10,000 units produced, it continues to see use today. The Tas One could sit at 6.0 in the tech tree, folded with the 2S3. Another vehicle, with a gun mortar, is the popular 2S9 Nona S. Using the BTR-D light airborne chassis, this vehicle uses a 120mm 2A51 mortar to fire high-explosive shells in a mobile chassis. The Nona can also fire a variety of other munitions in both direct and indirect capacities, ranging from smoke shells to laser-guided munitions to armor-piercing rounds, which claim to penetrate up to 600mm of solid steel at a kilometer. This vehicle shares many characteristics with the Tas One, including amphibious crossing, 60 km per hour top speed, and 4-man crew. Its gun elevation is even greater at 80 degrees upwards, and has a traversal of 70 degrees. The Nona has a very respectable 10 rounds per minute fire rate with the mortar, and can fall back on a light machine gun for infantry defense. Fully loaded, the Nona carries 60 rounds of ammunition. It would perform fine around the 7.0 battle rating in the tech tree, located after the Object 268. The final gun artillery piece is the 2S19 Mista, more specifically the self-propelled Mista S. This was a platform for the 152mm 2A65 cannon. This is able to fire most conventional artillery rounds, including HE, heat, and laser-guided munitions. It is further backwards compatible with the same ammunition types as the 2S3. The Mista S mounts this gun on what appears to be the chassis of a modified T-72, which brings its weight up considerably compared to lighter amphibious predecessors. Even so, with a 5-man crew, it could reach speeds of up to 60 km per hour, though it certainly was not as maneuverable. It was also equipped with a 12.7mm heavy machine gun. The turret was fully traversable, and can fire upwards of 68 degrees at a rate of 7 rounds per minute on average. It also sports night vision capabilities, a dozer blade, smoke generator, and 81mm smoke launchers. The Mista would be sufficiently capable around 8.7, located after the Sturm S. The last vehicle is not a conventional piece of gun artillery, but a multiple launch rocket system, the Tas One. The Tas One fires 220mm incendiary and thermobaric warheads at fortified enemy positions or light targets. Thermobaric weapons are high explosive munitions that use oxygen in the surrounding environment to create their explosion, as opposed to oxygen within the warhead. The 24-round launcher is built on the chassis of a modified T-72, and so shares many of its characteristics. It has a crew of 3, and can fire all 24 warheads in 12 seconds, though carries no onboard reloads. For guidance, the Tas is equipped with a fire control system and laser rangefinder, and for defense, sports multiple smoke grenade launchers. A devastating piece of equipment against lightly armored targets, the Tas One would be best implemented as a GE premium around 8.7 or 9.0 battle rating. Some of these vehicles did have modernizations after the fall of the Soviet Union, but those would best be looked at in a separate video. For now, hopefully you enjoyed this overview of these artillery pieces. Perhaps one day they might be added to War Thunder. Be sure to like the video and subscribe for future content.